Hi, Dr. Michelle Boisvert here from easyReportPRO, and today we're going to do another really quick onboarding on how to organize and arrange our outlines. So the first thing I'm going to do is head on over to easyReportPRO.com and I'm going to log in. And again, as soon as I log in, I will be brought to my home dashboard. Here, I want to go straight to outlines. So I'm going to click outlines. An outline is the structural backbone of our report. It really determines the sequence and organization of those smart templates that we use when starting a report. And know that because we're using smart templates, every template that's a part of our outline when we're using it as a report will be auto-populated with names, preferred genders. If we're using scores, using scored assessments, those scores will just align with the narratives and things like that. So just for this example, I am just going to use example report outline. I made a copy of it. It's in my own private library, and I'm going to click Manage Outline. Now, as you see, as I scroll down, you can see the different smart templates that are part of this outline. You can also see these little arrows right here. With these arrows, I can move a smart template up or down. So in this case, I'm just going to move sources of information up. Here it is. And now I'm going to move it back down. I can delete sections from an outline if I would like, and I can also add resources to an outline if I would like. So remember, this outline is that backbone. It's really the structure of our report. Whatever order these templates show up in your outline, that's the exact order their information will show up in your report. So let's start with just deleting something. If you click on the delete icon next to any smart template here that's part of your outline, I'm just going to click delete. You'll get this section saying, do you really want to delete, delete warning, do you really want to delete this? If you click delete section, this resource will be deleted from your outline only. You are not deleting the template from your main library. And this is really important because your master template remains intact and available for other outlines or if you want to use it for future use. The outline simply controls the section that appears automatically when you're generating a report using this specific outline. So this gives you a lot of flexibility. You can really customize your outlines for initial evaluations, reevals, AAC assessments, bilingual assessments, district-specific or state-specific formats. You can put in the exact information that's needed without duplicating or going out and trying to find content. Let's just go back to reordering for a moment. I already showed you how these arrows can help you quickly change the flow of your report outline. This is really helpful when, say, for example, your district requires your report to have information in a specific order. Or say, for example, you want background information before the testing information, or if you prefer your recommendations directly after evaluation summaries. You can align the information that you present in your report through these outlines with report expectations, with district expectations, clinic expectations. And again, instead of manually cutting and pasting text later, you can adjust that backbone, that report structure in this outline once. And from this point forward, every report that you use using this outline will have this optimized flow, this optimized order. And this is where structured automation, this is where I get excited. This is where structured automation supports our consistency, and accuracy because we set it up once and then don't have to worry about it again. So now let's talk about a very strategic decision. Should assessments be built in to our outlines? Now, there are really two approaches that you can think about. First is include the assessments that are commonly used or that you use every single time when you're doing an eval. So, for example, if I'm always doing the self-5 in my evaluations, I want to include it in my outline because I want it readily available for me every single time I use this outline. But say, for example, I have an assessment that I don't really use very often. It's part of my library, but I don't want it part of my outline, so I don't have to delete it every time. That's when I would choose to insert that other particular assessment in my report. I wouldn't put it in this outline, so it's just like automatically in my report flow. I would choose to add that when I'm doing a specific report. But basically what we have to ask ourselves is, am I adding in the resources I need to increase efficiency without creating clutter? And it's a personal decision. And when we optimize our outlines, we don't want to add like everything because deleting takes a little bit of time. We want to just add the things that we most frequently use, of course, to maximize our efficiency. Now, say for example, we just talked about deleting. Now, say for example, I wanted to add a particular resource into my outline. It's something that I use all the time. I can do it in one of two ways. First, I can come up here to this resource, and I can select a resource to add to my outline. So say, for example, I'm always doing the self-5, and I'm always doing the Goldman Fristo. I'm just going to go over to my favorites because I have favored the Goldman Fristo. I'm going to click, where is it? Goldman Fristo, GFTA 3 with descriptive checklist. I'm going to click it, and I can choose where I want it inserted. So here I would click, I want the Goldman Fristo right after the self-5. And if I click add resource, it would show up in my outline right after the self-5. So that's one way I can add resources. The other way that I can add resources to my outline is through this little plus button. So say I want to use the Goldman Fristo, and I always want it presented right after the self-5. I could just click this little add button. It will automatically bring me up here. I can type in GFTA. I want this one right here. You can see it automatically just put in the self-5 in this insert function because that's where I click the little plus button. And now when I click add resource, my Goldman Fristo is right there. So every single time I use this particular outline, it will always have the self-5, and right after that, it will have the Goldman Fristo. So as we wrap up this onboarding, it's time to kind of ask yourself, when you're thinking about outline optimization, think about what report sections do you need every single time? What assessments do you always have to include? And what order do those sections need to appear in your report that make the most clinical and compliance sense? Once you design your outline once, let it work for you. So I hope you found this really helpful. Again, as always, we love and appreciate feedback and questions. Our team is always here. We're always available. Thank you for watching this and using easyReportPRO, and happy reporting.